My name is Mark, and my family and I had just moved into an old, Victorian-style house in a quiet suburban neighborhood. It was everything we had dreamed of: spacious rooms, a charming backyard, and a large basement. Little did we know that beneath the surface of this beautiful home lurked an evil entity that would plunge us into a nightmare we could never escape. From the moment we stepped foot in the house, I felt a strange unease. The air in the basement was heavy, and an unsettling chill lingered in the dimly lit space. But I dismissed it as the typical creepiness of an old house and tried to focus on settling in. As the days passed, strange things began to happen. Objects would disappear, only to reappear in odd places. The lights flickered, and chilling drafts swept through the rooms. My wife, Susan, and I tried to rationalize the occurrences, attributing them to the quirks of an old house settling in. But one night, as I descended into the basement to check on the furnace, an overwhelming sense of malevolence washed over me. The air felt suffocating, and the faint sounds of whispers echoed in the shadows. With a sense of dread, I tried to make my way back upstairs, but the door leading to the main floor seemed to vanish before my eyes. Panic surged through me, and I called out to Susan, but my voice seemed to be swallowed by the darkness. As I frantically searched for an escape, I felt a cold touch on my shoulder, a gnarled, icy hand that sent shivers down my spine. I turned around, and my heart stopped. The sight before me defied all reason. A spectral figure loomed before me, an entity cloaked in darkness with hollow eyes that seemed to peer into the depths of my soul. Its presence exuded malevolence, and I could feel its evil intent reaching into the very core of my being. "Welcome to my domain," a haunting voice whispered in my ear, sending chills down my spine. I stumbled back, my mind reeling with fear and disbelief. The entity before me defied all logic, an evil force trapped within the depths of our basement. Unable to comprehend what was happening, I mustered the courage to speak. "What do you want?" I managed to say, my voice trembling. The entity grinned with malevolence, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "Your soul," it hissed, its voice like 1,000 whispers echoing in my mind. In that moment, I knew that I was facing an ancient evil, an entity hungry for souls, seeking to consume the essence of those who dared to cross its path. With desperation fueling my resolve, I recited prayers of protection, hoping to shield myself from the malevolent force at play. But the entity merely laughed, its haunting laughter ringing in my ears. "You cannot escape me," it taunted, its voice growing louder with each word. In a final act of defiance, I sprinted towards the basement stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. The entity reached out to grab me, but as I ascended the stairs, a blinding light enveloped me, and the evil force seemed to recoil. I burst into the main floor, gasping for breath, and the basement door reappeared as if by magic. Susan rushed to my side, her face filled with concern. "What happened?" she asked, worry etched on her face. "There's something in the basement," I managed to say, my voice still trembling. Susan's eyes widened, and she wrapped her arms around me, comforting me. But I knew that we couldn't ignore the malevolent entity lurking beneath our home. Determined to rid our house of this evil force, I began researching the history of the property. The more I delved into the past, the more I discovered a dark tale of a cult that had once used the basement to perform malevolent rituals. It was clear that the evil entity had been conjured from the depths of that dark past, and now, it sought to claim our souls as its own. With the knowledge I had gathered, I sought the help of a local priest, hoping to perform an exorcism to banish the malevolent force. But as we entered the basement, the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, and the entity's malevolence intensified. The priest began the ritual, reciting prayers and incantations, but the entity resisted, its dark presence growing stronger with each word. As the struggle between good and evil played out before our eyes, the basement seemed to come alive with haunting apparitions, ghostly figures from the past, trapped in the malevolent force's grip. With a burst of energy, the entity lashed out, sending the priest flying across the room. Panic set in, and I knew that we were no match for this ancient evil. But then, as if guided by an unseen force, I remembered the words of a forgotten legend, a tale of an artifact hidden within the house, said to possess the power to banish evil spirits. With determination in my heart, I raced through the house, searching for the artifact. As I reached the attic, I found it, a small, ancient amulet inscribed with powerful symbols. Clutching the amulet in my hand, I returned to the basement, hoping that it would be enough to break the entity's hold. With renewed strength, I faced the malevolent force once more, holding the amulet aloft. The entity let out a guttural scream, its grip on the basement weakening. As I recited prayers of protection, the amulet began to glow with a blinding light. The malevolent entity wailed in agony, its dark form beginning to dissipate. With a final surge of power, I banished the evil force from our home. The air in the basement grew still, and the haunting whispers ceased. The priest and Susan rushed to my side, relief evident in their eyes. We had triumphed over the evil entity, banishing it back to the depths from which it came. From that day on, the basement remained quiet, and our home was free from the malevolent force that had threatened to consume us. But the memory of that night would forever haunt our dreams, the night we faced an evil entity in the basement and emerged victorious against the forces of darkness. We had learned that sometimes, the darkest horrors lurk within the very depths of our homes, waiting to claim those who dare to cross their path.